Okay, again, so my talk today will be about custom icons that you could use. Okay, now the advantage of using an icon, this kind of icon look right here, is that it's scalable because it's like any other font, right? You can take a letter and put in how big the font is, right? It's vector, so it can scale as big as your page or as tiny as 16 by 16 pixels. Okay, so the advantage of using a font or icon graphic like that is that you can then scale it to any size you want, and it'll still. You can color it. Now, when you make one of these icons, you make it in black and white, and then you color it using CSS. Okay, so as you can see here, it's kind of black and white already right there, but I can alter it on like a rollover effect or something like that. So an icon like that can be changed as well. Okay, so if you're going to customize and make your own, you can use Illustrator, right? One of the things to keep in mind is it needs to be square, though. I know this look doesn't look square, but I believe it needs to be square. I think so. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe not. So again, to make an icon, I would use Illustrator. One of the reasons why I use Illustrator is because I can export out as SVG. So to make your own icon, you can export out as SVG. So Illustrator is a great program to make a graphic. So you can simply start with a new file, and I'm gonna choose RGB as my color space. And I know I'm not gonna worry about size right now. Size is not important because it's gonna be scalable, right? Okay, so don't worry about size. Most important though might be RGB. It doesn't really matter, it's gonna be black and white anyways. So you wanna make it black and white, no color, because you color using CSS. So inside of Illustrator, you have a nice big canvas. You can draw whatever shape you want. The other most important thing is it needs to be a complete object. One object. Okay? You don't make it in multiple pieces. Okay, so, and what I mean by that is, let's say you're going to make an R. That is, Gene left the lid. We'll blame it on Gene. The lid off the lid. So here's what I've discovered is trying to make things that have holes in them, right? Like stud finders. The stud finder icon has a hole in it. We want to be able to see a hole through. So, or an R in this case. So if we're going to make an R like this, what I've done is you don't want to take an image and put it over top of it like that. So here's an R. So let's say you want to make this R. What I've done is, in Illustrator, I could go and make this shape and then take this shape and cut a hole through it using that way. Or another way would be to, kind of have a little bridge between there so that this is a solid. What I'm trying to say is this needs to be open so it goes through. A lot of people cheat in Illustrator and they just put a separate shape over top of that and make it white or something so it looks like it's the same color as the background. You can't do that. It needs to be one solid object. Don't use multiple objects, I guess is my whole point. I don't know if you know how to use Illustrator. Hopefully you do. Some of you. But make it solid. Let's just do the gear because we love making gears, and gears are fun. To make a gear, I use my ellipse tool, and I'm going to go in the center of my thing. I'm going to hold down my Option key, and I'm going to click and drag out. Hold my Shift key down to make it perfect circle, and I got a perfect circle. Next thing I'm going to do to make my gear is I'm going to use a rectangle tool, and I'm going to deselect first my circle, then I'm going to use my rectangle tool. I'm going to put my cursor in the center, and I'm going to draw out. I hold down the Option key and the Shift key, or no Shift key, Option key, and kind of give yourself a little spoke, I guess. What would you call that? A spiky thing on your gear? Zoomed in. Love that wonderful mouse thing that they have here. Then, of course, just like in Illustrator class, I teach you how to rotate. Remember making the flower? Who remembers making the flower in Illustrator, right? Some of us remember the flower in Illustrator. We use our rotate tool. We click in the center, Then we put our cursor inside our object and we hold our Option key down and we click and drag, and then to make a perfect angle we hold down the Shift key and it makes a perfect 45-degree angle. We let our finger up off the mouse, let our fingers off the keyboard, and say Command D, Command D. So now we have a shape, but of course it's multiple objects. So what we're going to do is combine it into one object, make it black and white, save it as an SVG file, and bring it into the website. I already told you the website is makeyourownfont.io to make the font. So here we go. So after I made my wheel here, I'm going to select all my objects and combine them together into one object. To do that, we're going to use the Pathfinder feature. The Pathfinder feature is located underneath Window Pathfinder. And in Pathfinder, you can use the first one in the Pathfinder under Shape Mode called Unite. That'll make it all one object. And then, of course, like I was telling you before, you want it to be solid color. So I'm just going to make it black inside. Black inside. So we can have no stroke and then just black inside. Black inside. There we go. So I have an object. Now, when we make it into SVG, this white part, the thing that's the background is going to be transparent.
How do you control it over that? How do you make it like one object?
Pathfinder.
Can you put a circle in the middle to show us how you make it one object?
How to do what?
Can you put an open space in the middle?
Yeah, if you wanted a hole cut through there, again, you would use a circle in the middle. So again, go to the center, hold the mouse down, hold the Option key down, and make a hole, make an object like that. Then I would select both objects, and I would remove the front object, which is this one right here, the second one, and that'll cut a hole through it. So now this will work actually, I believe, because this is an empty hole. What I'm trying to say when I was demonstrating on the board is don't take a second object and put it over top without cutting it through. I used to fake that in Illustrator all the time. You know, oh, let's just put another object over top that's the same color as the background, right? Who's faked it like that before, right? I faked it like that before. You can't really do it with an icon because it needs to have that hole through it. So to cut the hole through, again, we use Pathfinder, and the second one is the hole through. So first one combines all the objects in one. Second one cuts a hole through. So this would work. I guess my demo with the R is you can't use the, I don't know why I was doing that. I was doing that somehow at one time. Okay, then I'm going to wrap my objects or my artboard so it fits the object. So I'm going to select my object, select it, and to shrink the artboard down to the size of the object is underneath Object, Artboards, Fit to Selected Art. So it's under Object, Artboards, Fit to Selected Art, and that makes it fit to the size of the art. Now, again, to do the icon, you need to save as SVG, not Illustrator, not PNG, not PDF, but SVG. To save this as an SVG file, we go underneath File, Save As, and where it says Format down here, where it says Format, we're going to use SVG. So where it says Format down there, change to SVG. And then I'm going to make a folder for today to put my stuff in. So let me make a folder. And what are we doing? Icon example. So make a folder because there's going to be more than one file you're going to be dealing with. A couple files you're going to have to deal with. And then let's call this wheel. I'm going to call it wheel. Or whatever you want to call it. So again, SVG is the format that you want to save it in. I use the default. I haven't changed this. The only thing that I've had problems with is trying to use the compressed. There's some kind of compressed SVG, and I've had problems with that. But save it as an SVG, hit OK. Now, of course, now the wonderful thing, I showed you how we did the logo with SVG that about last week, wasn't it? Remember the SVG for the logo, the Zircon logo, in the header of my example from last Tuesday? Same way, I'm using another SVG. The only problem I've had with SVGs is actually using them in WordPress. I haven't figured it out. Maybe you can help me do that. I have yet to get SVGs work in WordPress. I don't know why. I haven't had that work for me. Okay, so how do I make this into an icon? Well, there's a website that you can use. And if you remember, here's what we're going to do. Let's just look at the website. If we go to the jQuery, and if you remember under the jQuery mobile, and if you remember under demos, and you remember under the demos we've been doing, right, you have this option, and this is what I'm making today, would be the icon, icons right here, icons, right, icons. So here we go. You can program these icons here, but what I'm doing is making a custom one, okay? So these are the default ones. You can buy ones, you can download other ones, or you can make your own. I'm just making my own because I think it's important for you to learn how to make your own. Okay, but there's a lot of pre-made ones already there. There's a lot of.
We can copy these.
You can use these. These are already made already in there. Yeah, these are all made. You can just program them. You can see them there very easily. Okay, and then of course, to make your own, I'm going to use a website called makeyourownfont.io. makeyourownfont.io. If you go there, this website will then convert your SVG to an icon for you, and you can save it out and then program it kind of easily. Okay, so this website, to do this operation, I use the Icon Moon app at the top. See it? Icon Moon app at the top. Of course, before we do that, you can surf their pack if you want. Before you even do that, you can see why. You can read about icon fonts and what are icon fonts. You should know what they are and how they're used. You could simple CSS solution. You can see how to color them, right? They start out black and white, and look, see their color. You can give them color through CSS. You can color them, and notice though it has kind of a. I haven't done the multiple color thing yet. I've only got it to do, black and white. So I don't know how they do that one. Maybe it will help you, or maybe you teach me how to do that one. Again, I'm just using black and white ones. They also have packs that you can use. There's a whole bunch of pre-made ones. There's a lot of free ones, and of course they sell icons for you. Premium version, see? Or, like I said, you could make your own using the app. It's right here, the Icon Moon app. So if you click on that, it'll take you to the Moon. So these are all free, and so what you're going to do is you can build your own set. But you can also add your own to the set, like the one I made, right? Remember the SVG I made? So I can go through and choose some icons I want. Let's say I like the camera one, perfect for photo kind of section, right? So let's choose some icons. How about we choose a photo one? Let's choose a.
I'm sorry, where are you, Jeff?
The app. It's red in the upper right corner. Are you on the website?
Okay, sorry, yeah, got it.
So it's red in the upper corner. Go to that. Yeah.
There's nothing on the menu that takes you there? That's kind of...
I don't know. I just know to click on that red thing at the top. Took me there. Okay, again, you can choose. These are all free. These are all free. Maybe you like the Wi-Fi one. Hey, you can make your own set. You can include all of them. The problem with including them all is that they take memory, right? So every single thing that you put in here is it something that needs to be downloaded or something like that. So the more you put in there, the more memory it's going to take. So customize and just use the ones you think you're going to use. So let's see what else we got. Disk maybe. Hey, maybe you're saving something. I don't know if you don't want that one or not. Magnifying glass. I don't know if you want to use that one. That would be good for a photo maybe. Airplane. Hey, maybe you're making tickets. Maybe your site has a flight thing, right? This would be great for travel. And of course you got your cloud thing. I don't know. You got your Facebook one. Got your YouTube. I don't know why and here's the like I just said, there's the Wi-Fi. There's a Wi-Fi one. Also RSS is kind of similar to Wi-Fi, isn't it? SoundCloud. You got SoundCloud. and so on. And then what else do we have? Okay. So you can select them. Then you have import icons. Import icons. So I clicked up here in the purple one at the top, and I'm going to go and choose, where did I save mine? Oh, here it is, wheel. Remember I made one called wheel? And say open, and there's my wheel. So this is the one I made. Okay. So to bring in yours, import icon. Okay. Again, it's an SVG format. Here's my wheel, because I like my wheel. So again, I imported my own, right? And then I chose some other ones that were free. Free is good. So I don't know, maybe let me choose a couple more. Date one, the calendar one, that's pretty good. And oh, this one's always good for location, right? This is like the standard location kind of thing, right? Okay, so I don't know, choose your set. I have 12 selected so far. You can see down here, 12 selected, right? Okay, so now we want to download this, and it will include it, and it'll give you the code to put it on your page and everything for you. Okay, so it'll include all the things that you need to make it happen. Right now I have an untitled project. I think you can give it a name. I know there's a way to name it. New project, imported project. What did I name it? New York, change it. Oh, here it is, untitled project. Oh, you can give it a name. So I clicked on the button at the top right corner. It said project, I think. Did you see that? It was in the upper corner. It took me here, and you give it a name. What's the name am I giving this? This is Jeff's Icons. Icons. I don't know what I clicked on in the upper right corner or something.
It's the icon next to where it said project.
Yeah. And once you have it here, you can say download right here, and it'll generate it for you right here. So there should be, so give it a name, whatever name you want to give it.
If you select, you go back.
Now it says Jeff's Icon. It's this thing right here. So I selected all my stuff. I clicked on this little thing right here, Manage Projects. It came here. I renamed it to my icon right here. And then I go to where it says download right here. Download. And it'll download. I'm going to save it. Save it. And it saves it as a JavaScript. So it's save it. And then let me hide. Oh, there's my thing. Let me go find it. I don't know where these downloads go. Downloads, I guess. And so it saves it as a JavaScript here. And I'm going to put it in my folder. So a JSON format right here. It saves it. And if you open that with a text editor, you can see it. It saved all the stuff though. What did it save? I swear I made a simpler one last time. Hold on. I swear I made a simpler one last time. Let me go back. I download, load. Oh, if you go back, you can say generate font here. So I went back by selection right here. I went back to selection down here, and then I went and generated a font right here. Generate font, and then I downloaded that as well and saved that. So again, it was right here, generate font. It was on the main page, the one where you select your things. And then it even gives you the code. You can see where it says get code. And it'll show you how to use it. So again, I went to download code right here, and it downloads, of course, a file into your downloads folder. And if you open up the demo version it comes with, it'll show you the wheel. Remember I did a camera, right? So again, it was under download font. That's what we should have done. And then under here where it says icon moon right here is the folder. Inside that folder that I downloaded, again, it was under generate font. It has a readme text file, talks about how to use it. To use the generated font in desktop programs, you can install the TTF file. Again, it comes with a font, which is basically a font folder. You can import the JSON back into the Icon Moon app using the import icon button via the main menu option to retrieve your icon selection. It also gives you a CSS style for you, and so you can open that up.
Is that demo file reading from the selection?
And it'll show you those. What's that?
Is that demo.html reading from the selection.json?
It's reading from this CSS styles window. Yeah, you need this.
Not even getting the icons from the selection?
Yes, you need all these files. You need this, and I would put the font in there. So you need the font folder, and then they have demo files that generate this demo here. Okay, so the sample that I made with this was I just went into the jQuery page, and I sampled that I made, and I was able to put the icon on using the sample. So let me go through and try that real quick. And so the sample that I made, which I didn't bring, is underneath I made a sample. Do I have a sample on this site? Hold on, I gotta find it. Do I have any sample pages on here? Let me see if I have a pre-made sample page. I don't know, Gene made me clean up my mess. Was it this one? Did we make this theme? Oh, this is the purple one, huh? Beautiful purple one. Maybe I'll use this one. So I have one I was already working on. Let me put my stuff in there. So let's say I was already working here, right? This is my theme. Everything was working great. I could take that icon moon stuff that I made, and I can put it in there. I'm going to put all the files in there, just to put them in there. So all the ones that the icon moon downloaded, I'm going to put it in there. And then to program it, I'm going to open up my index file. I can open it up in Dreamweaver if I have to here. And so if I open it up, if I can open, why won't it open? No. No, really. Hold on. Where's desktop? There we go. So inside here, you need to link to the CSS file. So what was given to you again here? So what we downloaded, of course, was the demo. I don't need the demo right now. I can use that to program though. But you need the CSS style. So this needs to be linked to your website, as well as I'm not sure the JavaScript here needs to be linked. But in the fonts, I can't remember how I did this in my sample that I did. Let me open up the sample here. So again, here's the link to the style here. Oh, and here's the demo style sheet there. Hold on, let me just see. way too many windows here. So here's the style sheet. Here's the other style sheet. And then there's a link to a script down here for the demo. I don't know, I guess you would need all of this. So let me try. I did this in my office and I don't remember what I was doing. So let me put the JavaScript in there, if I can copy it. So there's a JavaScript at the bottom of the page for their demo file. It won't let me copy and paste. And then the links to the CSS files up here. And of course, put that in your head section. So I copied from their demo page to that. And then I went and I removed most of this stuff that was in here.
Yeah, how do you,
What's that?
yeah, what script elements? I don't see that in the demo page.
What's that?
Is there a script element in the demo page? I don't see it.
In the demo page, I copied the 2 CSS files that are in the demo page, right? There's 2 CSS files, right? And then there's a JavaScript file at the bottom.
Was that in the view source?
In the demo HTML file.
I don't actually see that in the demo page.
What's that?
I don't see that in the demo page. Is it in the view source?
I'm looking at the code of the demo.html.
Bless you.
Do you see the code? You need to open it in an editor, some kind of editor. I'm using Dreamweaver as an editor. And then I deleted most of this stuff here. Let me see, what was I doing here? So yeah, I got rid of the content and I built myself a menu. So then I got rid of the content that was in my index HTML file, and then I built myself a menu. To build the menu, why does it give me an error message here? So to build myself a menu, I use the jQuery page. So again, you can use the jQuery page. I was using the icons, and no, not the icons. I was using the button widget. Was it the button widget with the icons? No. Was I using this one? No, I wanted the nav bar widget. That's the example I was using. I was using the nav bar widget, and then I built one that goes across like this, but use my own icons. Okay, so if you look here, I wanted to build a menu that is horizontal across like this, but use my own icons in here. And you can do that too as well. So again, I linked all the CSS and the JavaScript up, which I probably did wrong, but I'm sure we could figure it out. And then I use the code here. And of course, if you want to put it in a footer, I didn't put it in a footer. So I'm going to copy that and put it into my data role. Get rid of all this extra stuff. And I don't want a footer. There we go. So again, I made a navigational bar See where it says data role nav bar, and then there's a list, and then there's a link, and then it has data icons. But of course, we don't want to use these icons. We want to use our own icons. And so how can I program my own icons is by, and I don't want this one to be active. I'm going to get rid of that so it's not blue. And then to use your own icons, I went to the demo file and I looked at my wheel. Where was my wheel? There's my wheel. So here it is, class icon wheel right here. Oh, jeez, I'm getting slow response here. So I use class icon wheel, or is it this one? Class, and then this is in a span. Let me see the one below. I think it was mine was class icon wheel. And then let me see. So you have a class, and then it has a span. I don't know. Let's just copy the whole thing. Let's copy the whole thing. Here we go. So I'm going to copy. Yeah, I don't know if I need this. Probably just this part. Then I went back and I put it in. Where did I put it in? In my list. But I added a link to it. Let me think about this for a moment. Icon wheel. Let me undo that. It's making a list, which I can see. Shit. There's so many different things here going on in my brain here. Now, let me see if it works at all. Oh, it's kind of blurry and quite not the right size. But it's just class. I just put the class icon wheel in there, and you can see the wheel. I don't know why it's so blurry.
See the nav bar code.
And so I'm close though. You can see the icon is here, my homemade icon. It just doesn't have. I wonder if I could give it a class. I don't know if I can give it a data icon. Try it. I don't think that's going to work. No, it's got a hole in it. But I'm sure there's a way to get it in there. I'm just not doing it right. So, I mean, I can see the wheel here. So, we might have to use the... Then of course there's some other ones in there as well. I'm sure there's a way I can get it in there. I just didn't do it right. I don't know, what do you guys think? Did you try a demo?
Can you show the code for the next one?
What's that?
Can you show the code for the next one?
So it's going to float in the box like that, depending on the size, right? So getting it fixed to a specific point.
Makes it, when you scale it, makes it mess up.
Yeah, I don't, I guess you could attach it to the beginning of the text, possibly. So instead of putting it in a div, make it part of the actual text line by putting it in one span, making it inline. I mean, there's a million different CSS things you could do to this to make it work. Yeah. My whole point here today is you can make your own, and you should think about customizing and how to customize. So we did it red. What else did we do? I still can't get it to be big. Maybe do I have to give it a height and width or max width? Maybe make it a block. And I guess you want to do percentage? Make it 50%.
I don't see if there's something doing anything.
I don't know. Didn't do anything. I don't know how to change the size. I'm sure we could figure it out if we keep trying something. Probably the font size instead of that. See, we're trying this. This is probably the wrong way of going about it. Probably, since it's a font, you probably give it I guess font family, font size. Yeah, let's make it big. Where's big? Large, extra large. There we go. It's bigger now. But of course the font's small. So yeah, give it the font size. How about that? Because it sees it as a font. That's how we colored it, right? And then you could probably put a box around it if you wanted a box around it. You could probably use CSS to give round edges to it, right? So you have all those capabilities in CSS to customize it. Again, color it, size it, position it as well. So do you see some possibilities? Yes? Okay. I don't know. I just wanted you to try the icon moon. So let's see. What did we post on Canvas for this week? Canvas isn't working. No. Canvas. Okay.